Humanitarian aid in the hands of the humanitarian supply chain. Humanitarian supply chain has gained a lot of relevance over the last decade. Donors are particular about supply chain processes, procedures, and accountability, since a big percentage of donor funds in emergencies is managed through the supply chain. Dawn to sunset, week after week, month after month, and year in, year out, the landscape remains the same. Drought, floods, earthquakes, war, civil strife, poor governance. Food is scarce, no water, no access to medical services, no medicines. Humanitarian supply chain brings humanitarian aid closer to the poor, the sick, the hungry, and supports the humanitarian efforts to enable people to live with dignity and access to basic needs. The humanitarian supply chain space. Practicing supply chain in the most difficult and challenging circumstances. The humanitarian supply chain operates in the humanitarian space. How do you apply best practices under the circumstances? Are all the principles of supply chain applicable in the humanitarian space? Humanitarian crisis is caused by disasters, both man-made and natural. Earthquakes, volcanoes, floods, droughts, cyclones, hurricanes, landslides, civil strife, conflict, wars. All these events have an impact on how things function in a country. They result in hunger, death, disease, public health crisis, collapsed economies. Under such circumstances, every government's desire is to meet the basic needs of its people: food, water, housing, protection, dignity, etc. In all this, supply chain plays a very big role. A good example is the current COVID pandemic. Supply chain has been affected at all levels. The world realized that maintaining and managing an efficient and effective supply chain was the lifeline. Ensure availability of gloves, masks, PPEs, sufficient drugs, food, water, sanitizer, etc. Just having access to enough protection gear made a whole lot of difference. If there was a time that supply chain management has been accorded its due recognition, it is during this COVID pandemic time. In our next videos, we will take time to look at the different aspects of the supply chain in an emergency setting. You may also visit us at our website for more information, thehumanitarianspace.org.